Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. In chickens, when there's a shakeup in the pecking order, the barnyard breaks out in violence. Why? Each chicken sees this as a chance to fight her way to a higher rung in the pecking order. Just like chickens in modern human societies, wars happen when there's a shakeup in the global order of nations. Wars happen when there are higher positions up for grabs in the pecking order of nations. Donald Trump has made America look foolish in the eyes of the world. So the opportunity has opened for a global shakeup, a squabble in the pecking order of nations. Vladimir Putin is taking advantage of this. So is Kim Jong Un, the head of North Korea. Kim Jong Un has invited Donald Trump to talk with him, and he's dangled something he calls nuclear disarmament. But what is the little rocket man with a funny haircut really after? Here's the problem. Now that Kim Jong Un has nuclear warheads and intercontinental ballistic missiles, there is no way in hell that he's going to let them go. In fact, in his New Year's speech a few months ago, he announced to the North Korean people exactly what he does intend to do with his missiles and his nukes. Said Kim Jong Un, quote, "The nuclear weapons research sector and the rocket industry should mass produce nuclear warheads and ballistic missiles. In other words, North Korea should make so many missiles and warheads that they can threaten every major American city, not just 1, 2, or 3. So why is the little rocket man suddenly dangling negotiations in front of Donald Trump? Kim Jong Un announced his approach in an article in the official North Korean press, Rodong Sinmun. That article appeared today, March 9th. It is an article lauding the little rocket man's father, Kim Jong-il. It is an article, wait, hang on, bear with me. I have a terrible time with paper. Okay, says the article, quote, "Leader Kim Jong-il is an iron-willed, brilliant commander, peerless patriot, and peerlessly great man who brought about the greatest change in accomplishing the revolutionary cause." And the quote is still continuing. "In the whole period of his leadership over the revolution, he always guided the army and people of the DPRK, that's North Korea, to victory with proactive strategy and tactics." Pay special attention to these words, offensive and proactive strategy and tactics. What the hell does Rodong Sinmun mean when it cites a perpetually offensive position and proactive strategy and tactics? It's talking about war by other means. It's talking about diplomacy, negotiations, offensive diplomacy. It's talking about the bargaining table battles that have advanced North Korea toward its nuclear goals ever since American presidents started negotiating with the North under Jimmy Carter in 1994, 24 years ago. Here's what Kim Jong-un's mouthpiece, Rodong Sinmun, says was going on beneath the surface of these talks with the United States. These talks, says Rodong Sinmun, were, quote, "victory after victory in the war without gunfire against the imperialists." Yes, victory after victory in warfare at the bargaining table. And most important, these were victories without gunfire. Let me give you the quote again. "Victory after victory in the war without gunfire against the imperialists." That's you and me, the imperialists. What's more, these bargaining victories, says Rodong Sinmun, quote, "set an example of the anti-imperialist struggle for the times." Who in particular did these bloodless battles set an example for? Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il's son, the current ruler of North Korea, the little rocket man with the funny haircut. Kim Jong-un, the little rocket man, in his New Year's speech said, quote, "Thanks to this nuclear weapons capacity, The U.S. would not dare to ignite a war against me and our country. Quote, close quote. And thanks to his nukes, says Kim, he can step up to a higher level in his alliance with Russia, China, Syria, and Iran, in his alliance with the new axis of evil. Kim Jong Un can make North Korea what he calls a socialist power, a major socialist power. So what does Kim Jong Un want from negotiations with Donald Trump? Recognition of North Korea as a great power, which will happen if Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump, the President of the United States, sit face to face across a table. It's happening even now when Trump is saying that he would like to take up the invitation. It's raising Kim Jong Un in international stature. What does Kim Jong Un want? He wants normalization of North Korea as a nuclear power. He wants normalization of North Korea as a nuclear force to be reckoned with. And Kim Jong Un wants something more sinister. The little rocket man wants to show that he is higher on the pecking order than South Korea. He wants to show that ultimately the South Koreans will have to knuckle under and let him rule them. Which means that right now, North Korea is a chicken jumping up the pecking order, hopping from underdeveloped nation status to a status as a nuclear state. And North Korea is a nation determined step by tiny step, even if it takes 20 or 30 years, to humble South Korea into submission. This is Howard the Among Us speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make, or, want to know why? Ask how. And now for the insidious, sneaky, sleazy little off button. I think I've got it.